But then over here, we on the seeding that we tried with the air cart, we didn't have a good measure on how to set it. So, and it ended up being light, and we have right at 9 pounds to the acre, and I was thinking I needed to do more, but I don't believe I shall now.
No, I think you're going to have enough density there. You know, if it turns out like this, like you've got lots of plants per square foot, these radishes will get up probably this tall by end of October, and they'll have huge leaves on them. You'll have this ground completely covered. Well, the crop that you planted last year, did you plant the same way basically as this?
Pretty much. We tried several different trials that way. One method was mixing it with potash fertilizer and the seed mix, and that was planted much earlier than the field day that last year. And then we tried some with the Salford drill that we had with the air cart, and then the next method was the air cart with the air system that we'd rigged up for an RTS, and that was good also. It was planted later, and we did not have much growth of the groundhog radish because I felt we were just too late.
Too late with it. So when ideally do you think this should be planted in August, late August, early September?
Well, I'd sure try to keep it in August.
Mm-hmm.
And it will take pretty hard freeze. That's one nice advantage. The first nipping freeze, it won't die out, or frost, I mean, it won't die on that. But it takes pretty hard freeze to kill this.
And of course the cereal rye is going to withstand the frost. And did you have any problems killing that off last spring?
No. We sprayed with our Roundup mix. I suppose the grass was 6-8 inches tall, maybe more even.
One liter of glyphosate, or did it take more?
Well, here in the States we use it by the quart method, and I believe I think it was the quart rate.
Yeah. Well, how important what are you looking for out of a cover crop? How important is it to you, and what are the things that you're trying to accomplish with a cover crop?
I want to help with erosion control and to keep the soil where it belongs, and I'm looking to capture nitrogen that might be here.
So if your crop didn't use all of the nitrogen, you could recapture it in the cover crop.
That's right. I'm considering planting an early group of bean to harvest early, and that maybe it's possible we should be thinking of our cover crop after beans to even capture the nitrogen there.
Yeah, so you could use the nitrogen that the soybeans develop to help grow your cover crop.
Yes. And then we can capture that nitrogen for next year's corn crop.
Do you think these root systems are getting down deep and pulling the nutrients that have leached down over the years? Do you think it's going to help pull those nutrients up to the top again for use, maybe 2 years, 3 years down the road? Do you anticipate that you're going to save some of that fertilizer that's maybe down deeper in the soil that your commercial crop doesn't have access to early in the season?
Well, I think it's possible. Then the next thing we need to do is dig a pit and to see just how deep these roots do go.
Do you intend to do that this year?
I think we may.
It'd be quite interesting to see how deep the radishes penetrate and how deep the cereal rye penetrates, and how well nodulated the peas are, and whether the peas you anticipate the peas competing with the radish and holding their own? or do you think the radish will smother the peas out, or the cereal smother?
I think they'll hold their own. It's all an experiment, though.
So if you keep your seeding rates light, you shouldn't have so much interplant competition that one blend of the crop takes out the other blend, the other seeds, the other varieties.
That's right. Yep.
Do you think the seed bed is as important with cover crop as it is with a commercial crop? Or you've spent a lot of money making, you've treated this like a commercial crop, so obviously you feel there's a lot of value in that. What are the costs of preparing a cover crop seed bed and seeding it?
Well, I think it's important to prepare it like you want a crop here, and that's why we prepared the later seeding here. We prepared with with everything was sprayed with the Roundup, and then it was tilled one pass with the RT99, and then we have the air cart with the toe between and pulling the standard RTS, barely, just real lightly with running the RTS.
So maybe 1.5 inches deep.
Yeah, I didn't want over that.
Yeah, I just noticed now there's not much wheat residue left. Was all the straw taken off, or all the straw left on?
We took the straw off. We have a market for the straw, a local dairyman, and but we just we cut fairly low with the combine, but we didn't go out and reclip it and try to get it every bit as much as we could.
So last year you did this come spring, was there wheat stubble left, or had it all been digested and broken down?
I think it had all been broken down. It wasn't visible, and during the winter we had quite a lengthy snow cover crop, and all the wildlife in the neighborhood knew where these radishes were, and they would scratch that snow away and find it, and there wasn't a lot of green leaf left. Where the heavy leaves of the radish were.
So how did you prepare then for the commercial crop, your spring crop?
We burned it down with Roundup, and I believe an early pass with an RTS, and then just ahead of the planter, another RTS pass. And it was an unusual spring, but I think that was the order, and we had a good go at it.
And did you see any changes? Was that the first year for cover crops in that field, on that particular part of the farm?
Yes.
Do you see any changes? Does it take more than 1 year, or do you see changes right away in your soil?
Well, I know it worked up really mellow and nice. I think you can see immediate results, but it's a hard thing to prove.
Yeah.